Hi Flosstube, this is Barb with Lost in Floss. Typically my videos show cross-stitch projects along with other things, but today's video is going to be a spring Easter tour of many of my cross-stitch finishes as well as other things I've collected over the years. And just kind of a mishmash. So sit back, it won't be a long video. I've been gone quite a bit, so I will go get back to a traditional video really soon. Just need to organize my projects and get them all back organized. Not my strong suit, right? But anyways, today's video, I'm just going to take you on a quick walkthrough of all my springtime Easter decorations in my house. And I hope you enjoy it. I try to switch things up and how I decorate. It makes it much easier if I just pull the things out and plop them up where they were the year before, but I always try to switch things around a little bit at least. So I hope you enjoy this, and as I mentioned, I'll be back soon with a regular video showing my cross-stitch pieces, and in the meantime, it's April 7th, 2025, my son Nick's birthday, so happy birthday, Nick. Yeah, this is about it for the intro, so I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. So spring is finally here in Wisconsin. I actually had some crocuses blooming the other day, but let's start off from the outside. And happy Easter, or if you don't celebrate Easter, happy spring. I had an extra garland and I couldn't figure out where it went, and now that I am outside, I realize I didn't put one on the back of my bench. And there's the bunny sign that keeps flipping over because of the wind. I had to anchor it down. But I got a new wreath this year. Always challenging to find something flat enough to fit between the doors. But I think this works. It got squished a little, but not too bad. So let's go inside. And pardon if you see my junk laying around. Oh, first off, this is my how many people go on vacation and bring home a duck umbrella as a souvenir? I've had this, I think, my third one, and for some reason I really just love the duck umbrellas, but that's a topic for a different time. So we have some spring Easter stuff going on. This is definitely New York Dreamer. A really good clue is if, oopsie, sorry, my finger there. If you're looking for the name and chart name for one of my pieces, I didn't always do this, but going back pretty far, when I make a new video and I show a finished piece, I'll usually post a picture on Instagram, and a channel name is Lost in Floss, and then the number 2 right after it. So if you want to know right away, look back through my Instagram feed, and usually these items will be posted there. You probably get a quicker answer than if you leave a question in the comments. of course, I'm always glad to answer there, but, and so this is, with the needle and thread. I can't remember what this is. This was an example of one that I, used walnut shells to antique the fabric. And actually, I have a video partially made with the tutorial for that. This is Leela's garden. I love that quote. Firmly believe. I know that the chart name is bulb. Is it shepherd's bush? I don't know. And this cute one. I got this metallic egg garland quite a few years ago, and I think that was like kind of the start of my vintage craze. And then usually what I do, if I have things just left over, I'll grab a basket and start putting them in. So this box with the daffodils on it, I think my mom got it with candy in it, and I'm like, I will keep that. That makes a cute decoration. And then the bunny, Mama Bunny with her babies, is one that I made in ceramics years ago. And just, I know the plate was from a thrift store. A little fuzzy chick in there, some carrots, and some berries. But, well, and you got the duck umbrella hanging in the background. But it just makes for a cute little vignette. And in the corner of the foyer, I have this pot that I always just shove some artificial flowers or something that's for the season. And I've got this hanging egg. At one time there were 2 hanging eggs, but I think one of the kids did that in. I will show this nest with that needle and thread. This is one of my all-time favorites. Just love that. That bird, the colors in the bird and the nest. Couldn't love that more. That stays up year-round unless there's something seasonal. And then this is my Prairie Schooler month thing. Actually, the little it's not going to stay. I need to get some new little adhesive tapes for the back, but you get the idea. Yes, it is April now, but in midstream of stitching April, I think I have the house done, and hopefully next year it will be up there. But this is where we're at in Wisconsin right now, so I'm fine with having March up. I know I have May, so it's only a month that will be out of season. Move into the living room. On one of the side tables, I just put together this little grouping. This is a music box that I got years and years ago. Oh no. Oh, sadness. I think that could be glued back in. But let's see if I can get it to play a little bit. Well, it's cute. I won't, because the chick spins as it plays, and it's got little clouds. I bought this years ago, I think, for my daughter. And let's I'll just put that flower back in so I don't lose it. Sorry if it's you're going in and out of focus. But this is a little ceramic piece my mom made. We used to take ceramics together, and I love it. I love it because you can leave it out past Easter. And a little bunny I found. And then this tray of stuff I put together. The stitches are mostly with that needle and thread, tucked a few wooden eggs that were painted. This one's a Lizzie Kate. April, I think. Yeah. I don't know if, I think that's a stamp series. I tucked a chocolate bunny in, some little flat hanging postcard things. This was a, whoops, I'm messing up all my display here. This was a Lizzie Kate item, a monthly thing that I found framed at a thrift store. So I took it out of the frame and just made a little pillow out of it. So I think it makes a cute display. And I was going to get rid of Paddington Bear. He was my mom's, and she gave it to me for the grandkids. They were already a little old for him, but, or at least the ones who would have been into him. But I was going to give him away to a family member, and then I have this little wicker chair that was my dad's when he was a child, and Paddington fits perfectly there, and I've decided just to leave him. And so he is holding a wreath this year that I had no other spot for because it's like so heavy you can't even stand it. So if we move over here, and I'm not going to show you myself in the mirror because I did yard work yesterday, and today I'm going for a haircut. So just kind of a hot mess. But you're here to see decorations, not me. So I tucked a little bunny in there. And of course have, you know, just, I kind of leave some of these items all the time. And here's a little egg. And a bunny with some, these are ceramic carrots. And then we go over to this bunny and just tuck some Prairie Schooler stitches in there, as well as my gift piece from Lisa. The cross is one that friends of my parents, he was a carpenter, and he made and distributed hundreds of these crosses, and at his funeral they handed them out. So I always, you know, remember him, and it's just a nice thing to have. And then this is the Lizzie Kate spring item, and just a little house. I don't know where I got that from. In here, it's a ceramic basket. And this, I need to resize the stitch pieces, but I had a different house that they just stuck on with a magnet, but I found this house and I like it better. So, although I think I might put some, like, nothing fabric up in the point where the extra background shows, but right now it's just kind of jammed in there. I'll fix that. And then along the windowsill, we have one of my all-time favorites, Prairie Schooler R's for Rabbit, with his matching rabbit that I could not find him at first this year. Then I realized I had a whole nother bin of stuff. Like little by little, I started thinking, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. But this kind of is a spot where just all the extra stuff goes. These crystal bird and bunny were my mother-in-law's. At one time, I had hopes of having like a lot of cross-stitch eggs. This is pretty big, but yeah, that kind of went out the window. Another thrifted bunny, Bloom by With Thy Needle and Thread, and that rabbit is also by hers. By With Thy Needle and Thread. I need an English lesson. And then down here is just, Leanne and I made these baskets when we were young mothers. It's in a craft magazine, and I still you know, as hokey as it is, it just reminds me of that time in our lives and our friendship. And most of the eggs I made in ceramics, although as I've found others, you know, I just tuck them in. This is pretty funny. This was my daughter's first Easter. I thought, oh, every year I'm going to make a egg for her. Well, I think that lasted 2 years. So there's this one. And Amanda now is approaching middle age. So, you know, some of these things have been around a long, long time. And then these are other pieces I made in ceramics years ago. I think, oops, that one has a crack in it. So we'll turn it this way. But, yeah, I remember doing these things. And that was before you could get, you know, inexpensive things from, you know, there was no Michael's or just, you know, Hobby Lobby or those kinds of shops. So it was more exciting to have things because it was more rare. Well, I just looked outside and it's snowing. Welcome to spring in Wisconsin. Whoopsie. So I love decorating this buffet and the shelves for the seasons. Another bunny. I used to always fill this with Easter color peanut M&Ms, but as you can see, trying to give up that habit. Nowadays it would be those little tiny Cadbury eggs, the crunchy ones. Those are my nemesis. But this is my wordplay for April. And a little basket. This is a vintage bunny container. I think came from my mom's. I believe my mom made this for my son in ceramics with the needle and thread. This was a crazy Easter bunny I made in my crafting days. This is the spring trio from Waxy Moon Designs. And I love tucking in. This was a card my mom had gotten from my cousin and his family. And although I don't like peeps, I won the little peep in I don't know, at work in some contest some other department was putting on. And it was cute. This bunny has seen better days, but he was the one who taught me, if you see something at Home Goods, don't go back for it, because that happened one year and then I made sure I went in the next year really early, and he came home with me probably in like, I don't know, January or February. But I just hung a little Easter egg garland. And of course, but Easter Parade, Blackbird Designs, Artful Offering, With Thy Needle and Thread, and this was a piece my friend Vicky stitched for me in our gift exchange. And this is a new rabbit I got at the thrift store last year. And then on the top shelf, I just tucked, you know, a few flowers and, you know, it's everyday stuff. It's not specifically Easter, but I still love it. And then as we move into the dining room, this is my Easter tree. For the last couple of years, I thought I wanted one that lit up, but I did not know that the branches are pretty flimsy. So I need to do something to kind of reinforce them. But this is kind of a mix of like these eggs. I remember there was a little kiosk in a mall downtown when my daughter was little, and splurging on a few little Easter tree ornaments, and you know, then you were able to find them other places. But now my newest thing is, these are my splurges. These are real hand-painted eggs, I believe from Austria. And when we visited the Breakers, which is in Palm Beach, really old, beautiful hotel that you can walk around, you know, the public areas. It's just gorgeous. Anyways, in their gift shop, they had these. I mean, look at the pretty detail on them. So I think I bought that one. And this one has cross stitching on it. And, you know, they weren't cheap, but I love them. And so we went down to tour, just my husband and I, the Flagler Mansion. And so I'm like, well, let's go over to the Breakers gift shop. And sure enough, they had them up again. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm going to make you nauseous here. But she's a little out of focus. I don't want to pull. I tried to put these in further. But there's a duck story involved in our trip. And so I thought it was very fitting. This is another new one. And to begin with, I couldn't really remember what I had bought. So I knew I had a chocolate one and a cross-stitch one. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure. So I opted for this one because I knew I didn't have just a flowery. But it's kind of a fun tradition. Just a little sign. Got all sorts of junk on this table. This is where I keep all the pictures of my kids going to see the Easter Bunny. And, you know, like one year one kid had chicken pox, the next year the other kid was scared of the Easter Bunny. Used to go, Leanne and I would take the kids and then go out to lunch and maybe do something like a movie. It's just a special tradition. You probably can't even see it. Can you see the snow? But this was yeah, it's not picking up. A candle holder, but you know, it's one of those tacky things, but I painted it in painting class, and so I will keep it. And then this is always one of my favorite things to decorate too, the top of this. It's an old antique bookcase, but I use it as a hutch. I mean, look at how that's coming down. So moving into that, this is a Prairie Schooler. Not a lot of stitching here. Bent Creek, maybe? Or Trilogy? Something like that. This was another, I hit the thrift store when I must have gotten 5 or 6 new chocolate bunnies. And they were really inexpensive. You know, like maybe $1 or a couple dollars each. So I got that tall guy, and then this one. I always should leave the vase of berries in the background. This little thing was my mom's. I love these. Ooh, I can see he's tipping. And then my sister gave me that egg one year when they came for Easter, and This is another with thy needle and thread. And I just put some other painted things I had and a little, well, here it is, Easter thing. As you can see, all the junk is in the back yet. Haven't really gotten out. I did the front flower bed yesterday, which is probably good. Not too much in the kitchen. This is behind my stove, and so I just have a little bunny I made years ago sitting on a carrot chair, Easter egg tree, cookie jar, and then up here, just some eggs that I painted. I always make a lamb cake every year, and so my husband ordered this, and I love it. I love it. And so daffodils blooming out there, along with a mess of stuff. Look at what the deer did to my holly bush. They've been like crazy on it, so I need to put some granular stuff down so they get it up their nose and don't want to go back. I have this glass shelved cabinet above the breakfast bar, and I always try to tuck a few Easter things in. And of course you need a touch of spring in the powder room. I need to cut the stems off those flowers, spread them out a little better, but this is another with thy needle and thread, and a little watering can and a rabbit. That was my mom's, so I just think it adds a touch of whimsy and springtime to other rooms in the house. So this was one of those pieces from, I don't know, that cross-stitch holiday book or whatever. And this led me to stitch pumpkin patch years later, but I actually took it, my mom and I went to one of those U-frame places, and that's why I could reframe it, but you know, what comes around goes around, or what goes around comes around, whatever the phrase is. And you know, it's a seasonal thing. Who really cares? Its meaning is what is in my heart with it, not like I'm gonna get decorating honors for it.